Alright, so this episode's basically like a remaster, I guess you could say, a remake. Maybe a remake, not a remaster. Of one that I already did before, which was my ranking of the seasons. Last time I did this, I said that winter was in last. Spring and fall were basically tied. So they were, I guess, second, if you want to count winter as being in third. And then summer was number one. But then I think when I made that one, it was around summer, and then summer happened, and I kind of was thinking about things and reevaluated my assessment of the seasons. So I think what happened in that first video is I kind of made my ranking based on what my experience was as a kid. And I guess that kind of just stuck with me. I never really thought about it since then. But then after I made that video, I got to thinking about it as an adult now, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think that ranking is actually as correct as I said it was. So, here's the redo. I guess what I'll do is I'll start with my least favorite and work my way up to my favorite. So, with that, in last or first up, whatever way you want to look at it, the winner of coming in last is gonna be winter. Now, I hate it. I said winter was in last in the last one, and I still say I hate winter. Winter is a pain in the cock for way too many reasons. I mean, you know, I hate the cold. I hate how you gotta heat your home. That just jacks up your energy bills, you know, whether it's electric heat, gas heat, oil, propane, whatever the heck you use, it's jacking that up. Even if you have like a fireplace, you gotta have wood available, you gotta cut wood if you run them low. It's just annoying no matter what. I mean, my gas bill, because my place is heated with gas, is leaps and bounds higher when it's cold out because I'm using it for the heat. In summer, it's like nothing. In summer, my gas bill is like $25, which is ridiculous because, you know, Eversource is a ripoff. But still, it's like $25. And go to winter, it's like $180. My bill for this last month was like $183, I think, or $187. I don't remember. It's one of those two. It's ridiculous. So if it was warm out, I wouldn't be running my heat, which means I wouldn't have some super high-ass bill. Then it just sucks, like, when you go outside and you go in your car, freezing. You gotta sit there and wait for the car to warm up, because if you don't, your car doesn't run right. You know, it revs, it never shifts. So then you're, like, redlining it, and you're in first, and you're like, come on, man, shift. If you try to push it. I don't usually do that. I do let it warm up. But then that's annoying. You're just sitting there waiting. You're wasting like 5 minutes to wait for your car to warm up a little before you can drive. Then your cabin's cold. And just because your car's a little bit warmed up, you can't turn the heat on because it's just cold air coming out. You got to wait till your car's like full operational temperature. Then your heat will be sufficient. So then you're sitting there freezing. If you don't have a heated steering wheel, now your hand is frozen. And screw it, when the heat comes on, your hand's still frozen. Unless you wore gloves. But otherwise, you know. And then, like, just outside is miserable. You go outside and you're like, oh, God. You open the door and, like, that one cold air that just, one blast of cold air that comes flying at you is just miserable. It's, ugh. You know, when you're at work, like, for me, I got to sometimes go between buildings and I just hate it. It's like you go outside. I don't bring my jacket because I'm like, that's just a waste of time and annoying. But then you go outside and you're cold and it's like, geez, I got to run. Why am I walking? I got to get into that other building sooner than later. You know, I hate that. I hate the weather. Like, what I mean is, like, precipitation type weather. You know, snow. I hate snow. Snow sucks. First off, it seems like it's just rude. You know, Mother Nature is just like, here you go, deal with this. And it's like, thanks. I was really interested in getting some unnecessary exercise this morning before I could leave to go to work. I.e., shoveling. You know, and then it's like, sometimes, maybe it's wet. Like, rain is in it, too. Water's in it. So it's almost like a slushy mess. So now you get to deal with that. That's even funner, because then it's nice and heavy. So now you're really getting a workout in. You're all beat and tired halfway through your driveway, and you're like, oh my God, I still got all that to do? On top of it, if you don't clean your driveway perfectly, then that's all just going to harden and become giant, thick ice chunks in your driveway. So that's fun to deal with. You got to wait until it's warmer, so that way then that can melt. And depending on what time of the season it is, what part of winter it is, it might be a while before that melts. You know what I mean? It could be late December and you got this nonsense going on. Now you're waiting until March for it to melt. That's fun. If you have stairs, those could be pleasant too, depending on the type of stairs. I mean, if you have some kind of like stone steps or something, whatever, throw some salt on. But if you got wood steps, you can't be throwing salt on that. It's going to eventually eat through. So now you got to deal with your steps being dangerous, especially if it's your only option. Then it's even worse. Like, oh, great, I have no other means to go outside other than these super dangerous, slick, iced up steps. Cool. And then let's not forget how fun it is if you slip down your stairs and you slide down. Now you hurt your butt, probably break your tailbone, you ripped your pants and or underwear. You know, just speaking from experience. So that's awesome. Maybe something goes flying as well. Maybe you had your phone in your hand. Now that went flying. You go find it in the snow. That's cool. Not speaking from experience. That's a hypothetical, but it could happen. I just hate it. And I hate, like I was just saying, the ice. I hate and then you could get lucky from a certain perspective. And maybe it just rains. And you're like, all right, cool. It's not snow. It's not sleet. It's not slushy. It's just rain. Great. Awesome. But then it's like, oh, wait. It's 2 p.m. right now. Is the temperature's gonna drop when it's nighttime and now everything's gonna be got a layer of ice on it? Oh, great. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to not being able to get in my driveway later if this episode, or maybe I'm in my driveway before it freezes over, but then in the morning it's, an ice sheet and I can't even walk to my car without sliding all over the place. That'll be fun. It just, ugh. And then it's like everything, it's just like a barren desert wasteland. Not desert, but just like just a wasteland, the environment. Everything is just sticks. And if there's no snow, it's just like brown. The grass is dead. There's no flowers. There's no vegetation really. It's just sticks. And then maybe you got some sprinklings of green from some random evergreens that are just hanging out. But otherwise, it's just nothing attractive to look at. Just sticks and brown and dead and ugh. And maybe there's no snow because there could have been, but it melted. But now the roads have like that stain on them from the salt. So the roads look disgusting too. And it's just miserable. It's cold out and ugh. And then let's not forget how it gets dark early. That's cool. It's really cool in the peak of winter, like, around the solstice or equinox, whatever it is. When it's like you get up for work and it's dark, and then you get home from work and it's dark. Oh yeah, that's not depressing at all. I just love spending my entire sunlight portion of my day in a building working. Then there's even dumb little things you got to worry about, like your tire pressures constantly vary because the whatever it is, the environment, the cold, it makes your tires shrink. Expand the volume of the air and whatever, the molecules get closer, so your tire pressure is down. So then your car's beeping at you like, hey, I need air in the tires, and it's like, no, you don't. It just needs to be warmer out, and then you'll be fine, because now if I inflate you when it is warm out, you're going to be overinflated. So then you got to drive around with not your TPMS on, but just that light on, like, hey, your tires are a little low. No, they're not. Normally they're at 32, but because it's 10 degrees out, you're saying that they're at 25. So that's annoying. Yeah, and then I also hate layering up. Summer's so easy to get dressed. You throw on, especially if you don't have work, it's a day off and you're just hanging out. Throw on a pair of shorts, throw on a shirt, boom, you're done. That's all you need. You don't even need socks. Throw on some slides, or you could wear some boat shoes or something. You don't need socks with that either. Boom, done. And now you're off. Winter, it's like, oh, let me put on my pants. Let me put on this shirt, like a t-shirt. Let me put a shirt on over that. Oh, I need my jacket, my hat, potentially gloves, depending on how cold it is. I mean, for me, I would want gloves just because I have a skin condition and, cold weather can affect it. So the gloves are there to protect my hands against the elements. So, potentially I have gloves on too. And then it's like you have to have socks. You got your shoes on, possibly boots. You're just way bundled up, and then it takes forever. After work, for me, sometimes I'm standing there, and it's like maybe I don't have plans to go out, so I'm just trying to put my pajamas on. And it's like I feel like I'm taking forever to get undressed. It's like I got to take my jacket off and my hat and put those away. Then I got to take off. Maybe I have an overshirt on, so I take that off, put that away, like a sweater or something. Then I got my regular shirt on, take that off, put it away. And then I'm wearing a t-shirt under that. Now, maybe that becomes my pajama shirt, so no big deal. I'll just leave it on. Or maybe not, so I gotta take that off. Then I got my belt, my pants, my socks. And I'm like, geez, I'm still getting undressed, and all I'm trying to do is put my pajamas on. It's frustrating. I hate it. Summer is so much easier, even for work. Yeah, I still might be layered up a little, but it's a lot faster. I don't have that jacket. I don't have the overshirt. I don't have the hat. You know, all I have is like a polo shirt that I gotta take off. Boom, now I'm wearing an AT under that. Probably gonna be my pajamas. So that'll stay on. And then take the pants and belt off. Done. Throw on my shorts for pajamas. Now I'm done. Boom. Way faster. Way easier. Yeah, winter's just miserable. And I hate snow, like, I don't know. I mean, I've always hated snow, even when I was a kid. And I just hate it more now as an adult, because as an adult, you have to deal with it more. You got to drive in it. You got to shovel it. You got to this. You got to that. It just sucks more as an adult. As a kid, it kind of wasn't bad. You might get a snow day out of the deal. Cool, no school today. Even as a young adult, you might get a snow day. Like when you're in college, oh, cool, school's canceled. Sweet. My last job that I had was kind of far, and far from where I live. And we attracted people from a wide range of areas. It was in Massachusetts, just to illustrate my point. But we had people that worked there that lived in New Hampshire, people that lived there on the outskirts of Mass, like in Boston and stuff. You had people like me who worked there from Connecticut, people from Rhode Island that worked there, people from New York. We had people from all over the place that worked there. So because of that, they had a policy that if the weather was crappy, they had a number you could call, and they would dictate whether, if you don't feel like coming in today, don't worry about it. If you can make it in, cool, do so. But if not, don't worry about it. You don't have to call out. You don't have to nothing. You just don't show up. You're fine. You don't get docked or nothing. So that was cool at that job. So when it was snowy out, I could take advantage. Oh, cool. I'm not going to work today. It's a snow day. But if you don't have a job like that and you have a real job and you actually have to go to work, well, then it sucks. You got to deal with it. You got to clean off your car. You got to shovel your driveway. You got to drive in the snow or the ice or whatever. And oh, crap, the plow hasn't been around yet. Oh, it's just annoying. But yeah, as a kid, I hated it too. I hated like when my brother would try to have snowball fights. It's miserable because then like you get the snow, either it hits you and it's kind of hard and it hurts, or else it gets down in your shirt. Now you're freezing, and then as it melts, now you're getting wet, and it's cold wetness, and it's miserable. I hate winter. I always have. I think if anything, if there was something to try to look for that's good in winter, it's that it gives you an excuse to be inside and do like lazy inside things. Like for example, as a kid, my mom made my brother and I be outside all the time. If the weather was nice, we had to be outside playing. But in winter, because it was cold and because it gets dark out early, we kind of had some leeway. We didn't have to be outside. So we could be in and watch movies. We could be in and play with our toys. We could be in and play video games. And it was like, that was the time that you got to do all the stuff that normally throughout the rest of the year you couldn't do. But it's because it was something that you would do by default because the weather sucked. So that's one thing. And now as an adult, I guess you can say, like for me, when I'm hanging out with my daughter, it's like, we might watch a couple of movies or we might play hours of video games, but it's like, what else are you going to do? It's 15 degrees outside. I mean, it's dark already because it's 5:30. What else are we going to do? So it almost like justifies it, makes it okay. That's like the only positive. Otherwise, winter absolutely sucks. Easy last place, number 4. Like, no competition. None of the other seasons are going to overthrow it. I'm not going to be like, oh, winter's actually not bad. I think the only people that might like winter are like people that like to ski and snowboard, because then it's like, hey, you got snow everywhere. And it's easier to find snow and stuff. Not, I got to go to this special resort that produces artificial snow or whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, it's just, oh, yeah. It's everywhere. It's in my backyard. I can go ski down the hill in my backyard. So, but otherwise, I don't see why. And maybe kids. Some kids are stupid. Some. My daughter, she doesn't like winter, so that's good. But some kids are dumb. They're like, I like sledding. Yeah, there's a lot more funner summer activities that you can do than just sledding. Or, I like to build a snowman. Cool. So anyways, that's the absolute last place. Runner-up, I guess it's not really a runner-up. That would be in second place. So in third place, this time there is no longer a tie for second place. There are now distinct differences. And I would have to say, in second place, this may sound kind of goofy of a choice, but I mean, in third place, not second place, I'd have to say, I'm thinking second place, like if, winter being the last, and last place is the winner of the losers, then that means this one is the second place of the losers. But in third place would be spring. Now, spring on the surface is good, because that's when stuff starts to change. It starts to get warmer. Obviously, the plants start to regrow. Trees start budding. Flowers, like the adage goes, April showers bring May flowers. So you can start having flowers. The grass starts growing. The world starts looking better. And it's good. Also, there's more critters out. The bunnies are coming out. There's more birds. There's more squirrels, chipmunks, whatever else, Things are starting to come out. It's less miserable out, so they want to be out. The days are also starting to get longer. Daylight savings switches in March, right? So when it gets dark at 5:30, now it's dark at 6:30. So it's like, ooh, nice. My day's just automatically longer just because that time switch we have. So it starts to get a little bit more happy. It's less depressing. With all the snow melting and stuff, then the roads can get cleaned up from all this road salt. They don't really get cleaned, but like when it rains and stuff, it can wash that away. So now the roads look better. You can clean your car and it'll stay, because it's not like, oh, it's going to snow tomorrow and I'm going to get salt all over my car again. No. The roads are clean. There's no salt, so you can clean your car and it'll matter. It'll last. It won't be a temporary 2-day thing and then it snows again. So there's positive things. However, I put it in third because I feel like spring is kind of, I don't know, it's pulling tricks on us with how good it is. See, spring starts in March, on March 21st on the, equinox, solstice, I don't know which word it is, but that's when the thing is. And March isn't necessarily nice yet. March is still cold a lot of times. So you're starting off spring cold. Yeah, it might be spring, but it's not pleasant. April can also be cold. Like the whole month can be cold. So that's not pleasant. Now, yes, it might not be as cold as winter, where winter can get down to 10 degrees, negative even. Whereas April's cold is like 40, but still, 40 is not that great. In comparison to 10, yeah, it's fabulous. But in general, it's still cold. It's 40 degrees out. You're not going to go sit on your porch like, oh, yeah, this is great weather. Oh, this is so comfortable. You might sit there for 10, 15 minutes, and then you're like, I got to go in. This is kind of uncomfortable now. Also, let's not forget, April showers bring May flowers. So, under ideal situations, April is supposed to be very rainy. That's not enjoyable either. You can't really do anything when it's raining. You don't want to be outside when it's raining. I mean, look at Seattle. They get rain all the time, and it's like the most depressing city in the country. So, obviously, that's not a positive. Like, oh, yeah, cool. Spring rains a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a realist, and I understand that rain is very vital and necessary. We need it so that way we don't have droughts. We need it so our lakes and ponds are full for our fish and everything. We also need it for our own personal reservoirs, for showering and drinking. We need it for the plants to grow and all that. I get it. I'm not one of these people that are like, oh my God, it's raining again. I hate this. I wish it only rained once a year. Because I'm like, you're an idiot. Do you realize what you're saying? But still, raining every day does suck. That's what happened once in 2009, I remember, from June to July. It was basically a month's worth of days. From like sometime early June until early July, it rained almost every day. And it kind of sucked. And that's what April's supposed to be like. So yeah, that's not so great. Also, spring is, so like I said, it's kind of cold. It doesn't really get warm until May. So, okay, that's cool. May, the first day of summer isn't until June 21st. But still, if you take it in terms of the months, it's May, June. So 2 months out of spring are nice and warm. Well, actually warming up. You know what I mean? They're still not super warm. They're just warming up. But the other 2 months, March and April were kind of cold and miserable and sucky. It's just like, it's basically like the beginning of spring is winter's hangover. Like, it's not fun yet. I can't even call it hangover because a lot of people would be like, oh, you got a hangover because you're drinking and having a good time, so you're saying winter's good? No, but you know what I'm saying. For some kind of crappy analogy. So anyways, yeah, spring has potential, but when you really stop and think about it, it kind of sucks. And it's like spring, you also want to open your windows. You want to get that fresh air and you want to get that smell, you know, that ooh, the windows are open smell, and you want to get that air flowing through your home, and you want, you know, just clean up the dust naturally. Dust is all just settling throughout winter because everything's just closed and there's nowhere for that dust to go. You want those windows open so there's circulation and wind, and yeah, clean my stuff up, get that dust. But you can't really rely on your windows being open all the time because either A, it's raining, or B, it gets cold, especially at night. So then you got to shut them. And even if you did have them open in the day, it's probably not even warm enough for that. Again, if it gets up to like 40 or 50, why would you be opening your windows? That's not very warm. You're an idiot. And for the most part, you're probably still running your heat, at least at night, if anything. You might turn it off during the day, but then it gets cold at night, so you're throwing your heat on. So yeah, you're still not even away from using the heat, which means you still have higher heating bills. They might not be as high as they are in the peak of winter, but they ain't no juicy little low number either. They're somewhere in the middle. Like maybe my 180 goes down to 90. Okay, it's half, but still a lot. So yeah, that's kind of why spring is where it's at. I guess another positive thing I should say, is that you don't really need a jacket. At least you could get by with like wearing a hoodie or something. You know, if it's like a 40, 45 degree day, and that's not super freezing, you could probably throw on like a shirt, maybe another shirt, or like a short sleeve shirt as an undershirt, throw some kind of long sleeve shirt on, and then a hoodie, and you're good. You don't need a jacket. I mean, you're still layered up, but hey, at least it's like, ooh, psychologically, you know what I mean? It's like on a test between the difference between an 89 and a 90. It's practically nothing. You get an 89 though, and you're like, dang it, I got a B+. But you get a 90, and you're like, whoo, I got that A-, sweet. That's the same thing. It's like, nice, I'm wearing a hoodie instead of a jacket. Oh, cool, it's getting warmer, even though you got 12 shirts on. So I guess there's that. But anyways, so yeah, spring, third place. Now in second, top two, who gets the silver? The silver, you should be able to guess based on why I'm redoing this. It would be summer. So on one hand, don't get me wrong, summer is awesome, you know. It is my favorite activity, physical activity, is to go swimming. And summer is great for that. Go swimming in your local pond or lake, you go to the beach, it's just what you do. It's awesome. So you can go swimming. Again, like I said, you don't need as many clothes. It's easier to get dressed and undressed. It's nice and quick. Days are nice and long. I mean, geez, I think at the peak of summer, the longest day, actually not the peak of summer, it's the beginning of summer is the longest day of the year, June 21st. You know, it gets dark out at like what? Well, sunset is like 8:50. It's super late. You got like the whole day, and that's when the sun's setting. It's still not dark until like 9:10, which is awesome. Especially when you're a kid and you're just playing outside, and oh, it's so cool. Just out there all night, basically. Another thing about summer that's good is it's kind of like vacation season. That's when you might take vacations. You know, nobody really goes in winter, although winter probably is more ideal to go because nobody goes, but it's just not pleasant. So you go in summer, and that's when it's better. You know? What else is awesome about summer? Driving with your windows open. Again, no heat. Now the heat's finally off. You don't need heat in your car or in your home, so that's good. Windows are definitely open in your home. That's good. It's also, I feel like it's a lot easier to cool yourself down than it is to warm up too. So that's a plus. You know, like if you're hot in summer, jump in, go swim somewhere. Boom, you're good. Jump in the shower, put it on super cold, freeze yourself for a minute. There you go, good. Jump in your car, open the windows, boom, you're good. You know, versus winter, I feel like it's hard to warm up. What do you do to warm up? Oh, I'm cold. Well, let me just sit here and wait for my heat to warm me up. Well, that takes a while. It's not super quick. It's not like jumping in a freezing cold shower. Oh, God. Okay, I feel good now. you can't jump in a super hot shower. It feels good, but it doesn't warm me up that quickly. You're just like, oh, this feels better, but still, I still got that chill to my core. It's going to be a few minutes before that's gone. So yeah, summer has a lot of awesome things about it. But the reason I put it in second is because something I didn't think about, or some things I should say that I didn't think about in my first time around, is that one, like, the bugs suck. Mayflies and or gnats, they're probably the same thing, but they suck. Mosquitoes suck. What else is an annoying bug? I guess that's really it on the surface, but still, they're just annoying. You can't, like, sometimes I want to sleep outside. Not really, like, camping, just at my home. Just sleep outside, just to do something different. But it's like, you can't. You'd be attacked by bugs all night. It's too annoying. You'd have to have, like, a net and all this crap around, like a full tent. And I don't want a tent. I just want to sleep outside, at home, where it's safe. So I'm not camping. I'm just in my backyard. But you can't, because the bugs would be too annoying. So that sucks. Humidity absolutely sucks. Something I didn't think about before. Humidity, it's crazy how much of a difference humidity makes, because 70 degrees on a dry day feels great. It's a terrific temperature. It's warm without being too hot. It's comfortable. Like, it works perfectly with what I have to wear to work, which is like slacks and I usually wear like a polo a polo t-shirt, and it's perfect weather for that. I'm not too hot, I'm not too cold. It's perfect. But then there's days where it's 70 and the humidity is super high, and you go outside and it just feels brutal, and it's like, oh my god, this is 70? I thought 70 felt good. This feels terrible. And that's when it's at 70. Now imagine it's 90 with high humidity. It's absolutely oppressive, terrible, brutal. It's miserable. You literally do nothing and you're sweating gallons. And then it's like, at home, I want to have the windows open. I've had the windows closed all winter, half of spring. I want my windows to be open now. I want to be able to hear the birds. I want to hear the crickets at night, the katydids. I want to hear, I want that breeze to come in. If it's raining, I want to hear the rain, like, live, not just tapping off the roof. I want to hear it tapping on whatever it's tapping on outside. I want all that. But then when it's super hot and muggy, you can't do that. You got to throw an AC in, because then it's too oppressive. You can't sleep. You're laying on your bed practically naked, and you're just saturating your bed, getting it all disgusting. So then it's like, great, now I'm back to shutting windows and wasting electricity to put this stupid AC in my window. Wonderful. And I hate that. I look forward to having the windows open all winter just to have the windows shut, to put the AC in so I can sleep. What else about summer sucks? Just sweating a lot sucks. It's the exact opposite of what I was saying in winter. You get in your car and it's freezing in winter. In summer, you get in your car and it's smoldering hot. So then it's like you just start sweating. Especially like me when I'm at work and I'm wearing my pants and my shirt. Well, I got pants on, so now I'm sweating. And now my shirt's all wet. I can feel it running down my back. And I'm like, geez, this is disgusting. So then in turn, your laundry's just piling up, because like every time you wear something, it has to go in the wash because you got all sweaty in it, even though you didn't do anything. What else sucks about summer? That actually might be it. But still, it's just those factors I didn't think of before. And yeah, it's just brutal and uncomfortable and miserable, and yeah. And so now this brings us to the number one season, which obviously is very easy for you to figure out what that is, which is fall. Fall's a goofy one, because I never in my life would have thought that fall would be in first. I'd always think of it as like possibly in third. I know my last one I said fall and spring were tied for like second, but I always felt like spring had the leg up. But now that I've actually sat around and thought about it, I'm like, maybe fall's the best. This is why I choose fall. One, fall is the reverse of spring. So it's still hot at first. It's not supposed to be, but it is. You know, it's hot up until, these past several years recently, they're hot almost up until Halloween. Like, I think about it, I'm like, geez, it's going to be Halloween. The kids are going to be sweating wearing their costumes. It does finally cool down by the time Halloween rolls around. But it's not, like, cold. You know, it's like 50, which is better than the 75 that it was a week earlier. But at least it's 50, and you can wear your costume without sweating too badly. I mean, I wear a Batman costume every Halloween, and I sweat in that, so it's still hot enough for me to be all sweaty, but at least it's not like if it was 75 out, then I'd be just absolutely drenched. I probably wouldn't even bother dressing up because there'd be no point. So, yeah, there's that. It's still warm out, but it's transitioning to cooler. And in a way, you almost look forward to that coolness because summer's been oppressive with the humidity and the hotness, and you're looking forward to that break now. After 3-4 months of it just being hot and humid and terrible, you're kind of looking forward. Oh man, I'm looking forward to these cooler days. I don't want it to be cold. I don't want winter, but I do want these cooler days for some, refreshment, to have the windows open and just get that cool air inside the place and just kind of chill it down so at night it's not so hot. And maybe I have to use a blanket. That'd be nice. You look forward to that. And it kind of slowly gets you there. By mid-November, now it's starting to get cold. It's definitely jacket weather. But it's not miserable cold. It's not winter cold. It's not, oh my God, it's 6 degrees out today. It's, okay, it's a high of 35. It's not bad. It's cold, but it's not bad. I can deal with this. And, it's almost like, again, just the opposite of spring. You have like the first couple of months of fall are still kind of hot / warm. And then like the last month and a couple weeks of fall are when it starts to get cold as it gets closer to Halloween, yeah. Gets closer to winter. Another thing that's nice about fall, obviously, is if you live in an area that has it, like New England, it's all the foliage. Everybody loves the foliage when it changes. The leaves are looking nice. You get all the colors. If you can go on a trip, a joyride, and just spend a day or something just driving around, looking at the scenery. It's kind of nice. You can get some good pictures, maybe some good videos of the scenery, of all the trees changing, and it's just it looks nice. People buy calendars with those pictures because it looks nice. So there's that. Then I feel like there's a couple of good holidays during the fall. First off, my birthday is in the fall. That's kind of funny. I've never thought of this before. I mean, I thought of it, but it's never really registered as, oh yeah, that's a plus for the season. But there's my birthday. There's also Halloween. Personally, I feel like a lot of people like Halloween. Kids obviously like Halloween. They like to dress up. They like to go get a bunch of free candy. Adults like Halloween. They throw Halloween parties where you dress up and possibly get rated and you can win prizes or whatever based on your costume. There's a lot of Halloween movies that people like. I don't mean Halloween like Michael Myers. I just mean like, scary Halloween-ish, like Trick or Treat and Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that. All of them. Just horror types that you enjoy around Halloween. Nobody really watches Friday the 13th in summer or something. You don't watch those. Then you don't watch Trick or Treat in the middle of May. You just watch it around Halloween. So that's what it's for. So you get to enjoy those movies like, hey, 'tis the season. People also like to decorate their house. So there's that too. Put the do the pumpkins, do whatever else. You do some scarecrows, some big, tall, creepy skeletons, etc. And then right around the corner from that is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is probably my favorite holiday because it's not commercialized. I mean, seriously, they never have any merch for it or anything. You go to Walmart, the Halloween stuff starts coming out in August. And then by late September, they got the Christmas stuff out. There's never anything Thanksgiving stuff. Hey, the Thanksgiving stuff is out. No, because Thanksgiving is just food and family. And you just eat and you hang out. And maybe you watch football. Maybe you don't. Maybe you play a board game instead or something. Or maybe you do both. Football's on the TV, but you're not watching it. You're playing a board game with your family or something. But, it's just nice. It's a nice holiday, all about family and just hanging out and just enjoying the day. You get a day off from work. At least for me, my company, I get Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, or Black Friday, and sometimes we even do the day before Thanksgiving. We did it this year, well, I guess last year at the time of this recording, and I think we did it the year before that as well. So that's, you kind of get like a 5-day weekend out of the deal, so that's pretty awesome too. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of halfway decent stuff about fall that I've just never really thought about before until I thought about it for the purpose of this video. And yeah, so that would be my new ranking. Winter is still the loser. I absolutely hate winter. Spring you'd think would rank higher, but it's not as juicy as you'd think on the surface. It's more of like a promise of what's to come, but it doesn't really deliver. Summer's great. It just has a lot of miserable pitfalls to think about. Bugs, extreme heat, humidity. You know, those things suck. And then fall. Fall, I guess, is sort of perfect out of all the 4 seasons, oddly enough. So yeah, this actually went a lot longer than I thought it would. I did like a trial run the other day, and it was only about 24 minutes long. I feel like this, I don't know how long this is. I can't see while I'm recording, but I feel like I'm in the 30s, maybe 36 minutes or something. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So I guess that's all I got. My remaster of my ranking of the seasons with a little bit more thought put into it rather than emotion. Last time it was emotion. Like I said, I was kind of basing it based on how ranking it based on how I felt as a kid. This time I ranked them based on actually sitting there and thinking through it, which also helped it so that way then there's not 2 in the same position. You know what I mean? There's not 2 number 2s anymore. Now there is a number 3 and a number 2. So yeah, thanks for checking this one out with me. And until next time, I said see ya.